For many years, the Women's Commission of the Socialist Party USA has shared the stories, perspectives, triumphs, and struggles of those most marginalized under patriarchy. This year, we are continuing this tradition, but with a twist. In 2025, the far right has pulled out all the stops, waging war on basic human rights and seeking to destroy anyone who dares challenge or defy their deeply oppressive, strict, unscientific, and arbitrary standards regarding both gender expression and sexual orientation. This International Working Women's Day, we are calling on cis men in particular to step up and speak out in hopes of delivering the most compelling argument for why people of all genders should join the fight against patriarchy and how liberation from the oppressive, hierarchical gender binary stands to benefit all working class people, not only women. There is a well-funded, sophisticated propaganda network, the Manosphere, targeting the most isolated, alienated, lonely, and financially devastated of men, encouraging them to blame trans people, immigrants, and women for the status quo, promising them social dividends for doing so. But the price of these dividends is high. It is paid for by sacrificing solidarity with all working people, embracing class oppression in exchange for gender-based privilege, and it can be snatched away from any man who doesn't conform to the arbitrary and strict standards of what a quote-unquote real man is considered to be under the patriarchy. So we're asking you, as a man, please share, in whatever way you feel comfortable, how are you limited and held back by the patriarchy? What part of yourself must you give up in order to socially cement your status as a quote-unquote man within the patriarchy? How have you been shamed for being yourself and living your life as you desire? We're basically asking how patriarchy hurts you, not just women. And if you have a story you'd like to share about how you became a socialist feminist or how you have personally benefited from socialist feminism, we'd love to hear that. Xenophobia will not solve the economic crisis that has devastated working men, nor will it heal the scars of emotional abuse young boys must endure to become quote-unquote real men, nor will it ease the loneliness men feel as they become increasingly isolated as capitalism seeks to commodify all aspects of human life, interactions, and relationships. The far right seeks to use working class men as cannon fodder in their battle to destroy the pockets of democracy, equality, and prosperity the working class has eked out through generations of struggle with their violent and heartless vision of a totalitarian future. Men understand this pain best. What would you say to the men struggling in ways that put them at greater risk of finding this reactionary rhetoric convincing? Additionally, we are calling on the people who tend to be most marginalized under patriarchy to share their vision of a world beyond the limitations of a heteronormative, hegemonic masculinity. Whether you are a woman, queer, non-binary, gender non-conforming, intersex, trans, or even if you're a cishet white guy with every type of privilege who has failed to perfectly conform to every masculine stereotype imaginable and or isn't a raging insecure bigot, the far right sees you existing genuinely outside their oppressive gender and sexual norms as an existential threat. We see the ugliness of what we are fighting every day. Take this opportunity to imagine the beauty and wonder of what we are fighting for. Our strength lies in the hope for a better future. The far right can offer nothing but ignorance, fear, isolation, hatred, conformity, and a bleak future where every one of us must kill some part of who we are to fit in and be accepted. How would this future affect you and those you care about in particular, and how does your gender relate to the different intersections of oppression you experience most? What does this future look like and mean to you? Please share this in whatever way you feel most comfortable with. We'd like to hear your story. This International Working Women's Day, we offer meaningful, well-demonstrated solutions to the problems currently faced by all working people all over the world. That answer is socialist feminism. Not a class reductionism or liberal identity politics, but a class-conscious, multi-tendency movement of all working people dedicated to building a mass movement that understands how all facets of oppression are used to divide workers. The fight for liberation is indeed one fight, one that can only be won when we stand in solidarity with working people in every part of the world and unite all intersections of oppression against the ruling capitalist class. Multiple oppressions intersect to divide the working class against itself. men against women, white people against people of color, heterosexual people against bisexual and homosexual people, cisgender people against transgender people. These divisions give some privilege to the favored group, along with the chains of conformity. These chains come in constant policing, not only from others, but through anxiety-inducing self-policing and sacrifice of one's true self. It is only by intersecting our fight against all oppression that we can build the trust and social credit necessary to build a single, unified working class ready and prepared to overcome our ruling class oppressors. Workers of the world, unite!